If you're ready to chase a dream without instructions, buckle up. Welcome to Delicate Disasters.
Welcome back to the third episode of Delicate Disasters. I know it's been a minute since my last episode, but I really appreciate those of you who have reached out to me and sent not only encouraging messages, but also fantastic reviews and have asked when the next episode is coming out. It's an amazing response, and I'm so grateful for you all. But I'll admit, it is such a new chapter learning how to be a podcaster, and I've been working on expanding Delicate Disasters. I will be implementing some new things with each podcast. So I've actually been working on digital products. And the first digital product of Delicate Disasters is up and live, and that is the Delicate Disasters Creative Clarity Toolkit. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. This is something that is supposed to help creative right brains kind of get out of their funk or get to their next chapter. And it's an amazing toolkit that I have been working on for a few months now. So for now, let's dive in. Today, I wanted to talk about something that has really come up in a lot of conversations I've been having lately, and that is starting before you're ready and kind of building when you're in your what I call messy middle. If you're on this podcast, you are probably a creative brain or someone who has got big dreams, big feelings, and big ideas. But you're waiting. You're waiting to feel more ready, more qualified, more together, more financially stable, or even more educated. And I get it. I have been there. I have lived that doubt many, many times. I have lived that idea that I needed to check off a box before I get started. But here's the truth that I've learned the hard way. You don't need to be fully healed to begin again or even begin. You don't need to have perfect clarity to take that first step. You just have to start. Even if it's messy, even if it's not the timeline that you had, just start. And I saw something on Instagram this week that really inspired me to go ahead and record this episode next because this has been in my drafts for a while, and I always record something that I'm feeling that week because I want to be authentic to you guys. And when I share something, I want it to be because I am in that moment feeling that and feeling compelled to reach out to this community and share and open discussions with you about that topic or feeling. And the Instagram posts said, do it now, do it messy, do it, XYZ, because there's someone in a hospital bed that is wishing that they had your problems or wishing that they had your capabilities. And that really hit me because that we only get one life. And sometimes, and I am so guilty of this, we always are waiting for the perfect moment. And the truth is, life will give us a lot of things, but it will never give us a perfect moment. We have to create that moment. And what I mean by that is life will always give and take. And we have to stay humble when we are in those seasons of where everything is being taken from us, because that is exactly what will determine what we see at the top of that hill once we are out of this valley, because life is about hills and valleys, and it's about how you handle yourself in the valley that will determine what's at the top of your hill. You have two options. When life kicks you down, you can either get up and keep fighting and moving forward and achieving and striving for more, or you can just stay down and let life keep you there, which is being stagnant. And I realize this is so much easier said than done. And I am not here to preach to you and tell you that you are wrong if you need to stay down for a while, because I have been in those moments where I'm like, I just can't get back up. But the truth is, you have to get back up. Don't let life take more from you than it already has. We get one life to live, and we aren't promised a perfect or even a smooth life. It's just about how we decide to handle what's been thrown at us. And again, this is so much easier said than done. And when I would have someone tell me these things when I was in a position where I was feeling very low or feeling lost or not feeling confident enough to start again, you kind of want to just ignore them and have a little bit of angst towards them. Like you just don't get it. But I'm here to tell you that I do get it, and I know where you are, and I know how you feel. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to keep fighting. Fight for what you want. And I am all about vision boards because I'm a visual person, and a lot of us as creative right brains are visual. So when you are feeling this way, a big tool that I have used to pull myself out of these situations are vision boards, because you get to relive what you might be feeling is the impossible. Okay, I want to achieve this. I want to wear this brand. I want to have this facial product in my daily routine, whatever it may be. Go make a vision board and remind yourself, put it in front of your face of what you want. And I promise you that will reignite yourself. Starting before you're fully confident is the most difficult thing to do. I say this because when we're younger, we are so confident in the fact that we are going to grow up to be a mermaid or a firefighter, and no one is going to tell us that we are wrong in that. There are no boundaries as to what we can achieve in life. There are no boundaries or limitations to how much we're going to make, or if we're going to live in a castle or ride a pink pony. It's an amazing time of life. And as we get older and we experience more of the world, a lot of doubt is placed into our mind. So I want to share something with you. When I started writing the Delicate Disaster series, which was actually about 4 years ago, I was in deep burnout. I was questioning everything, my work, my worth, my direction. I had just gone through an extremely hard season of life taking, and the idea of claiming the space as a creator, as a leader, as someone who wants to build a whole community, it felt laughable. I was like, you will never be that person again. But something shifted when I stopped asking, am I ready? And I started asking, is this real? Are these feelings I'm feeling real? Or maybe I'm not as scared as I think. Maybe those doubts and those fears are because life wants me to stay in this sticky mud that I have found myself in. But emotions are a very powerful thing. I am the first person to say that you should accept your emotions and validate them, that your feelings, whatever you are feeling, they are valid and they are worth being respected. So, in the fantasy movies and the fantasy books, when the hero is going into an adventure and they go into the woods, the forbidden forest per se, and they get stuck in the mud and the fog is so thick they can't see, and they start hearing, the voices of, whatever is in that forest, whether it's the sirens or the negatives or whatever the story plot may be. And they have to determine, like, is this real? Is this real? What is my truth? What are my actual thoughts? And I know it's an elaborate explanation, but sometimes I feel like when we are in those valleys, we're in that forbidden forest, and we have to ask ourselves, yes, okay, the feelings that we feel are there, but are they my feelings, or are they something coming from doubt? Is this life trying to keep me here in the sticky mud because they don't want me to get out of it? And it's an extremely difficult question to not only answer for yourself, but to actually accept. I am only sharing my thoughts here, so please take it with a grain of salt. When you face yourself and you ask, is this real? That shift for me gave me permission to move, because I started to question, well, how much power do I actually have to get out of this mud? Do I have the capabilities to overcome this? Is this just something that I have to keep pushing through blindly because I know that there is a magical fairy forest waiting for me on the other side? And I want to pass that permission on to you, that you are allowed to confront yourself, and you are allowed to take control of a situation that you feel like you do not have any control over. Perfectionism will keep you safe, but it will also keep you stuck. And that is coming from a type A perfectionist over here. It is something that I battle on the daily. It is one of my greatest gifts because I can focus on the details of a dress in ways that no one can. But I also know that I get in my own way 80% of the time, and I have to focus on not getting in my own way 100% of the time. I don't even know if that mathed out, but I hope you guys got it. Waiting to be ready is the fastest way to bury your dreams under someday. If you're building a brand, writing a book, creating content, pitching clients, or just trying to start something honest, please hear this. Start where you are. Start in your pajamas. Start when it feels chaotic, because that's your community, which, like everyone, our community is human and you're human. We don't need you to be perfect. I don't need to be perfect for you. We just need truth. All of us, every human being, the number one thing that we can give is truth. You know what I've learned from coaching other creatives is that clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from action. And what I mean by that is if I don't know what to sketch, then I just start sketching everything. It doesn't matter if that's not what I'm supposed to be sketching. It gets my brain moving. If I am stuck in work, I get myself up and I go to the gym. And I know you know the feeling I'm about to describe, but you are a little bit brain fried from staring at a screen for hours. And the last thing you want to do is get dressed, drive to the gym, and go push yourself through a workout. You would rather sit down on the couch and watch some TV or whatever it may be, but I promise you, movement is medicine and it does work. And you need that kind of medicine to heal your soul, your creativity, to heal the cracks of the day-to-day stress that will keep you whole to achieve your dreams. You figure it out while doing it, not before, not making lists of the plans that you need to do to achieve before you start. I used to be the biggest list maker of the things that I needed to do before I started. And now I make lists of things that I can check off. And this technique is something that I dive into in my Creative Clarity Toolkit. And it is something that I will touch on lightly here. Give yourself a list that you can check off, because anyone can make a list and we have all done it. I have notebooks full of lists that are just pages long and it's so overwhelming and you don't even want to start because you know you're not going to be able to finish. So something that I've applied to my day-to-day method for the last 5 years is making a list of my top 3 things that I have to do in a day. That's it. My top 3 things. And those things are going to be so hard to narrow down, but really ask yourself, what do I actually need to do? What could technically fall between the cracks and the end of the world wouldn't happen? Because let's face it, that long list is going to have items on it that you're not going to achieve. So instead of finding disappointment at the end of the day that you didn't finish everything, pick the things that you can achieve and tell your brain that you did a great job, and allow your brain and your body and your soul and your creativity to know that they did amazing today, that you checked off those 3 things and you nailed it. You are achieving, because the thing is, when we start something new or when we start again, there are a lot of things that don't always go in our favor and we feel like we're failing left and right. We have to tell ourselves, go back to that confidence that we had when we were 4 years old that we will achieve. We might not have that as adults, but we have to create things that we can achieve. We have to find ways for us to achieve every single day. Because if we spend every single day failing, no wonder we don't want to get out of bed. No wonder we don't want to try again. Give yourself the permission to achieve. Write this down. Make a list every day, Monday through Friday at the very least. What are my top 3 things I have to do today? If something goes sideways and I can't do anything else in the day, what would those 3 things be that I need to check off? And that in itself is action. Trust me, try it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. You'll figure it out while you're doing it, not before. And sometimes the mess is part of the method. I think a lot of times people try to clear parts of themselves or their lives or their characteristics out of their lives and schedules, and it's actually taking away from your authentic self. And you need to make a method that is, of course, structured, but structured for you, because as much as we are all human, we are all so different. I hope that the Delicate Disaster series can really showcase all the different types of people out there and all the different types of method and inspire you to embrace your own. That thing you're ashamed of, that chapter that nearly broke you, that might be the exact reason someone trusts you. And I can say this because I was in a really bad place 4 years ago, 5 years ago. After the pandemic, I did lose everything. I lost my relationship. I lost my house. I lost horses. I lost the business. There was so much that was taken from me. And I remember that it took every ounce of my being and quite literally lying to myself that I was going to be okay and getting out of bed. I went to the gym every day, but that was all I could handle, was just going to the gym. Every time I even tried to lift my head up and try again, I just got slammed into the ground. And I remember just feeling like a shell of a person and that I couldn't see out of the valley. I was stuck in the mud and the fog. And how I handled myself was by baby steps and just keeping to my 3 things that I could handle. Since that time, so many people have come to me and said, it was how you handled that chapter of your life that made me want to do X, or made me not give up, or I want you to consult me on how to build my life because I'm going through it and I saw how you handled this chapter of your life. And, here I am thinking that I am barely surviving, but people are constantly watching you. Even when you think you are alone in life, everyone is looking to see how you handle things. Just remember, someone is always watching, and it is so important to make sure that you don't give up on yourself because your story is probably going to inspire someone else down the line. And you might not know it in the moment, but it will be so worth it when that person comes to you and tells you that your reason, your story is the reason that they're on their journey. You can build in the middle of the burnout. You can launch while you're still healing. In fact, most of my greatest work I have done literally bawling my eyes out. I have made some of my most beautiful fashion pieces while I was so broken. I remember I had to stop and dry my eyes every so often so I didn't ruin the fabric because I was crying so hard. And when I stepped away, I saw the beauty that I had poured into this piece. I had poured all of my mess, all of my heartbreak, all of my soul into these pieces. And it turned out beautiful. And I think that's a great thing to remember, is that it might feel ugly and broken on the inside, but you still have so much beauty that you can show and give to the world. You can lead without a polished title, a perfect niche, or a fully loaded toolkit. But if you need some help, the Creative Clarity Toolkit I hear is amazing. Because your power isn't in your polish, it's in your presence. Just being present, being real. And that can be so scary because being real and being present in your now, that's very vulnerable. And I do not blame you if you don't want to be vulnerable like that because it's so scary. And every time I record a podcast, even though I've been doing it for a while now, even practicing, I get nervous and my hands start shaking and I have a cup of water by me because I'm like, why is my throat dry all of a sudden? And I'm a professional talker. I love to talk. And it's hard. It's scary. I'm putting myself out there for you all. But that said, take baby steps for yourself with yourself. And if no one's told you lately, you're not behind. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You're in the building phase. And that phase is sacred. And even though it is messy, sticky, blinding, it's okay that you're figuring it out as you go. I am faking it until I'm making it. I don't know what the next hour brings, let alone the next day, but I'm going to keep going. I don't even know if I'm going forward, but I'm going to keep walking. And that's the point, is don't give up. Don't stay stagnant. Don't stay in that mud. Look, I get it. We all have different personalities. Some of us are extroverts and some of us are introverts. So to some of us, this might seem a little easier, and to others, it might seem like the scariest thing ever. So whatever it is, wherever you're at, take this and start. Send the email, publish the post, book the studio, buy the domain. You don't need another course. You don't need another sign, another person to validate you. You need one tiny moment of bravery. And I hope this episode helps with that. If this resonated with you, share it. If you need to send it to a friend who is stuck in perfectionism, be brave and send it to them. Post it in your stories if you're claiming this as your season to start anyway. And if you're building something and feel like you're the only one doing it in the dark, I see you. I'm coming. I have the flashlight. DM me. And I'd love to hear what you're working on. And if you're looking for more support, I'll be sharing some creative coaching opportunities soon, so stay tuned. And please watch for the digital products that are coming to Delicate Disasters. These products are from my heart, my mind, my soul, and they have helped me in my best times, my darkest times, my most lost times. And I'm wanting to share them with you. And I hope that they help you as much as they've helped me. And until next time, start before you're ready, and I'll see you in the mess.